Welcome back, everybody, to the Insightful Podcast. We gain insight in order to move forward in life. Today, we are joined by yet another special guest, Christian. Christian, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing, man?
Good, good. You guys know how we like to do these episodes, just jump straight into it. So, Christian, could you start by introducing yourself to the audience and kind of explain who you are and what you do?
All right. I'm Christian Anderson, y'all. Um, I run a group called Pray He'll Train, and it's basically praying is obviously for your spiritual journey. Physical is for your training, like training is for your physical journey. I'm sorry, and then mental is also like for our therapy. So it's Pray He'll Train, and what we do is, we be sure that we hit all levels when it comes to faith, when it comes to physical fitness, and then also when it comes to your mental journey. You know what I mean? So.
Nice, awesome. So, I guess what made you get into social media in the first place, and how has like that journey been so far for you?
If I'm being completely honest, man, I never actually took social media really serious. I'm not even gonna joke. I was on TikTok, and I put up a fitness video, and did like maybe I think maybe over 100,000 views on TikTok, and I just kind of was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then as I speak to people that are close to me, and we talk about different things like far as fitness, and we also get into mental, and we also talk into prayer. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Maybe you should start talking on social media about these things, or you know what I mean, or how you feel about these things. I'm like, nah, whatever. Not a big deal. So I started reading books, which is crazy. Starting deep dive reading the books while I was on my faith journey or whatever the case, my spiritual journey. And I started bringing these books that I was reading onto TikTok. So we got this little group that we had going on talking about the different books that we were reading. And it turned into something that was really big. Then I wasn't on social media. Like I was off of social media for a long, long time. And then I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and jump on Instagram, right? So literally in August we had 700 followers on Instagram, and as of now we're at like 18,000. So from
Damn.
700 to 18,000, just talking about different things, it has jumped from there. Then Pray He'll Train, because that was just a thought and a vision. That was just, and then I'm like, you know what, y'all, let's start putting merch out here. Let's start helping people in the community. Let's start doing what we can do. So we launched our first shirts, which are Pray He'll Train, and those did really well. Those actually sold out in a few sizes. And then we're about to launch the hoodies here soon. And right now we're in the process of helping a charity that gives back to women and kids. So it started off as just a thought, man. And I tell people out there, I don't care if you got a thought and you got a vision, put it out there. You never know, how many people think like you and want to support you when you're just being a good person.
I see. So what was, I guess, the first like inspiration you had for Pray Heal Train? Like what was it that like kind of triggered everything?
I think because I used to be 305. I was out of shape before I was 305, right? And I'm like, I had a lot of people close to me that had passed away. And one thing that you learn about life is that a lot of times, a lot of us as people, as humans, we let other people make us happy, whether it's our grandparents, whether it's our girlfriend, whether it's our boyfriend, whether it's our job. And I had a point in my life where I lost my grandmother, I lost my cousin, and I was raising a kid for 4 years, and I found out he wasn't mine. And at that point in my life, I realized that I was not creating my own happiness. I had people around me creating my own happiness. So now I'm in the process of being 305, right? I'm in the process of being 305, and that's where train comes from. And now I'm in the process of where I just lost everybody close to me that was close that I really love. And that's where, heal comes from. That's where your healing comes from, and that's where your therapy. So I feel like you can't go wrong when you put pray, heal, train all in those, you know what I mean? All in those
Yeah,
categories. You just can't. And it just taught me that sometimes life will beat you up. And as long as you got line of those three things, pray, heal, train, and you just being a good person, you can't go wrong. You get what I'm saying? So that's how that came about.
I see
And
what
I
you mean. Like if you focus on those three aspects in your life, like you just can't go wrong. Yeah.
everything will be just how it was supposed to be. You got your faith, you know what I mean, which is pray. You got your heal, which is your mental, and you got train, which is your physical. You start putting those three things together, everything that is for you will come together. Everything that isn't for you will get away from you. And that's just how my life has just been lately, you know what I mean, since Pray Hill Training started.
That's amazing, man. So were you always a man of faith, or was it something that like developed over time?
No, I was always a man of faith, but I had to start believing within a little bit more, because a lot of times it's like, a lot of times we feel like man, we can do it. We just got to do this. Well, but people fail to realize that prayer without effort is pointless. You know what I mean? You can study for an A on the test all day long. You mean, but if, you can pray for it. But if you're not going to study for it, you're not going. God's not going to do His part. You know,
Yeah.
you can lose weight, but if you don't go in the gym, He's not going to do His part. You can pray that we get a good job, but if you're not doing your part, so my thing is that it was always there. My effort just wasn't there. You
Mm.
know, we can pray that I hope I find somebody good, but are you doing good? And once you start putting your effort there, everything else will line up. Like I packed up everything, Anthony. I picked up everything that I own when I was back home in Indiana, and I just moved to Arizona 2 months ago. And the things that I've accomplished in those 2 months, it shows me that prayer, effort, and discipline will never fail.
So I
I
see
mean,
it's like you're literally living out your motto right now and you're seeing like real time results instantly.
people, and I don't know anybody out here. Things are gravitating to me. People are gravitating to me. Opportunity, water companies that are reaching out, and it's like it's been such a beautiful journey.
I see. So why exactly did you move in the first place? Like, was there something that you felt like wasn't there with you at where you were before?
I just feel like sometimes when you're in an environment, you can outgrow your environment, and everything that I wanted to do in Indiana, I just never got done. Like I got out here in Arizona, and I started investing more in my social media. Social media jumped it from 700 to 18,000. TikTok jumped from 20,000 to 30,000. I'm the leanest that I've ever been in my life, far as body fat. You get me? I got out here. I started the Pray He'll Train business. The merch got running. So basically, sometimes your environment can slow you from growing. It's like the pond, the lake, the goldfish in a pond. You know what I mean? You put them in a fishbowl, he can only grow as big as the you know what I mean as the fishbowl. But my thing is that I got out my environment that I was comfortable in, and I hold myself accountable for different distractions. But once I got out here, where I didn't know anybody.
Mm,
LPs got done, business accounts got open, merch got launched, social media got, and it's like the whole time my environment was just holding me back. And sometimes we just got to get out of our environment to help us grow.
I see. So what advice would you give maybe to someone listening right now that is struggling with making that jump? They know their environment is their issue, but they just can't do it. They're just
I
tied
would say
down.
do I would say do it, and if fear is holding you back, be okay with failing. Because I'm telling you now, nothing will you won't regret nothing more than it will than what if. If you're gonna fail, be okay with going to sleep at night saying, I failed. But don't go to sleep looking coming up and you 20, 30 years now, you 60 saying, what if I would have did it? I promise you, failing feels a lot better than wondering your whole life, what if? Because what if you do it now and it's the best decision you ever made? And my biggest thing is do it. And if you're young and you want to do it, fail in your 20s, fail in your 30s, fail in your 40s. You don't want to be, making all your failures as you get older. If you're gonna take the risk, do it and be okay with it. Accept failure. Don't accept not trying. That would be my biggest thing is don't let get out here and let fear stop you from doing something that you want to do. Because I'm 36, and imagine if I would have did this jump when I was 25.
Mm,
You get what and what we done covered in 3 months. Imagine we can cover in 3 years. So I would just say it. Don't let fear hold you back. Be okay with failing.
yeah, 100%. Why do you think, I guess, I would say more men, a lot of men are like more scared to make that jump or to like invest in themselves, kind of like you have? Like, I think it's like a growing issue where even when it comes to purpose and like being driven, a lot of men struggle with that.
It's comfortability. It's scary. Like right now, when I was back at home, I had a 3 bedroom house, with a full basement, and I had 2 cars. But when I moved to Arizona, I sold my house and I sold my other car, and I'm in a 1 bedroom apartment because I've only been here for 2 months. As a guy, as a man point of view, do I deal with that thing psychology, mentally? Yeah, it definitely bothers me because everybody's success is different. My success was just I just wanted a nice house, and now I'm in a 1 bedroom apartment. But being comfortable and getting uncomfortable is what a lot of guys are scared of. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But and that's just what it is. Just being uncomfortable is scary for anybody, man. Especially to us men. We work so hard to get something, then we got to sell it and start all over. It's like, whoa, I don't think I'm ready for that. You know what I mean?
yeah, I could see what you mean. It's like a scary thought for most people, right?
100%.
You also mentioned focusing on your mental health. How important would you say it is to like check up on your mental health frequently, and what kind of, I guess, practices do you do to make sure that like your mental health is always on check?
I think sometimes, honestly, Anthony, I think a lot of we keep ourselves so busy that we don't want to check in with ourselves, and we just don't feel our emotions, right? Sometimes it's like people put, I think, and I'm guilty of this, when I was dealing with everything that I was feeling from, the first thing that I would probably do is I would go hang out with a girl, or I would go drink, or I would go smoke weed. And it's like, because you're basically trying to numb your feelings, but when you sit with your emotions and you feeling, okay, I feel like this. This is why I feel like this. Let me sit in my stuff, because a lot of times people think healing is not healing is messy. If you broke something or something broke you, you have to sit in. And the thing is that everybody, let's say it's me, you, and five other people in the room, Anthony, right? You got you breakup, you got somebody going through a divorce, you got somebody just lost their job. We all feel it. Like you, I feel it. The other five people, they feel it. But this is what makes the difference between other people. Anthony, me and you, we're gonna go down this road. We're gonna get in gym. You're gonna start doing your podcast. I'm gonna start working on my brand. At night, I might get lonely and I'm gonna cry, but I'm sitting through. I'm gonna master my craft. Then you may have the other five people who might go get drunk, might go sleep
Mm,
with people, go do drugs. But the thing with me and you is that we're going down this tunnel, but we know that it's going to end and we're going to be on the other side. But either way, it's going to hurt. But you may
yeah.
have these other people who are going to get in this lifestyle that's going to bring value. They're going to bring their value down and not add value to them. But it's never going to get anywhere. So you got to get to your point in your life where it's like, okay, me and you, Anthony, a year from now, maybe 2 years, we're gonna be through this dark tunnel. It's gonna hurt, like it's gonna hurt these people, but we know that we got to do better, because if you don't heal yourself, you're gonna hurt people. You're gonna bleed on people. It's gonna reflect, and you're gonna project your energy on other people. So my biggest thing is that once you go through that healing process, the love that you got for yourself, how you treat other people, is gonna show in you.
I see. It's so true, man. I think like a lot of people when they're going through a tough time, people don't tell you that it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to like embrace those emotions. So what they do is they just distract themselves the whole time, and then one lonely night or whatever, it hits them like a truck. When it's like, I like what you're saying, where you can kind of just go about your life, work on your stuff, keep grinding, whatever, but accept that you're gonna feel bad during that time too, right?
And you got to be honest with yourself, man. Like you got to be honest with yourself, and you got to hold yourself accountable. And I think the biggest thing now is that, my happy place. When I get off the phone, I'll be honest with you, Anthony. I took a nap, man. I'm going to run 7.5 miles after we get off this phone call. That's my happy place. The gym is my happy place. And people say, the gym is not my happy place. My brother happy place is him going fishing by himself.
Mm,
That's his happy place. It could be you painting. It could be you going to the museum. But let's make it something to where it adds value to us, not take value far as let's not go smoke and let's not go drink and
yeah.
that whatever that's with. But like let's do something to where we're not trying not to feel and be numb to our things, because you're going to feel it.
I see what you mean. Like, don't do anything that's gonna like self destroy, right? Like going to the gym,
100%.
going fishing, like painting. All these things are like things that kind of take you away from that situation, but it puts you in a good mood. It puts you in a good place. Whereas other ones might put you in a good mood, but then it's slowly destroying you, and you can't even see it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
100%. So, what was like, I guess, a pivotal experience that kind of shaped you into the person you are today? Obviously, you probably have many, but is there one that you could like point to that you think that like drastically changed who you are?
If I'll say this, Anthony, and I say this all the time because sometimes people don't get it. And I think one morning I woke up, right? And back at home in Indiana, Indiana's small, right? And I feel like I'm in a very happy place in my life, but there's things where I'm like times that I wake up in Indiana and I don't want to be there just because of the place. Like I'm so tired of Indiana. And I just woke up one morning, I'm like, I'm tired of being here. I want something new. Like I want. If I have everything in my life that I want, I have my house, I have my son. We go on our vacations, but the only thing that I don't want is to be in Indiana. And the thing is that when your brain starts to going on that, it's like, why can't you do what you want to do? Why can't you do what you want to do? Why can't you do? And the thing is that real growth is when you get tired of your own BS. That's the reality of it. You know what I mean? I got tired of feeling like BS. I got tired of thinking like BS because I was out of shape. And like through my whole journey, it was like, okay, I'm gonna do better at this. I'm gonna do better at this because I hate feeling like this. I hate looking like this. I hate talking like this. So it's like little like pinches of like, it's like little pinches and little pinches, and then it's like, I'm tired of all of this. I want myself to change. You get what I'm saying? So that led to me making myself better, me wanting to get out of Indiana and do better. So man, I think the one thing that I had to say was just got tired of feeling a certain way. That's what it all comes down to it.
I
You
always,
know,
I always say that too. Like when it comes to self improvement, it's like the best way to like get into it is to hate the situation you are in right now. Because like if you don't, it might not be enough to like actually push yourself to change. Because if you're a little content with your situation, you could put up with it. But if you hate it, you're gonna make a change because you're gonna be sick of it. And I get where you're coming from.
100%. And that's just what it is, man. Growth is when you just get tired of your own BS. Like that's really what it is. Like, you get tired of procrastinating about that business you want to do, that dream you want to do, that vision you want to do, and you get locked in. Like, let's make an example. The only reason me and you are here right now is because you're doing something that you love to do. I love something that I want to do, and two great minds cross the paths. We wouldn't have crossed paths if we were at the bar drinking, or you know what I mean? Like it's work like that. We're on our both of our journeys on what we're trying to do, and we just cross paths. But that's the thing, man. When you get locked in and do what you want to do, you're gonna meet incredible people.
How would you say the experience has been with the people you've met based on what you're doing? Like you're saying, like compared to the people that you might have known before?
Beautiful, grounded people, beautiful people. I'm meeting people in yoga classes in the gym at the fresh market instead of meeting people at 2 o'clock in the morning at the bar, at the club, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It towards those people. Everybody got their own journey. I'm not knocking those people. I'm just speaking from my experience. But you meet a lot of grounded people. Now my days look like me getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and going to the gym instead of getting in the house at 4 o'clock in the morning and going to bed.
Yeah. It's like a complete 180.
That's different. It's a whole 180. So
And that's the thing. I think people will say that they struggle to find good people in their life and people that can inspire them and motivate them, whatever the case may be. But I think a lot of times we're like not searching in the right places. You know what I mean? Like you're going, like people will go to clubs or they'll go do something that maybe they shouldn't be doing and expect to find genuine people there when it's like most of the time it's never that way. You're not going to find those genuine people there.
true.
Yeah. So what I want to ask you next is what advice do you wish you like would have heard when you were younger to like shape you into the person you are today?
Advice I wish I would have heard: don't follow the crowd. Don't follow the. But and I think that's so hard to do because when we're so young, our minds are so it's hard for us to take advice when we're so young, like even down at our age now, somebody can give us advice at 70 or 75 and we really gonna take it depending on what they, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's so not a fair question because some people are just not there. So when you get those people who actually take that advice and run with it, it's like those are the special gifted ones. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Think that, man, just don't follow the crowd. It's so easy now, but you see people, I'm 36, you see people now who's 36 and 32, and they still following the crowd, which is sad.
I get what you mean. It's like there's a lot of advice that you hear from like people that are older than you that like no matter how much they try to drill it in your head, you have to go through the bad experiences in order to see it?
You gotta bump your head, man.
Yeah. 100%. So there's some videos or like I don't know how many videos, but I was going through your page and you speak a lot about like relationships. Why do you think in your personal opinion most relationships fail nowadays? What do you think is like a key factor?
I think people are scared to be their authentic self, and I think people put society standards in their personal life. If I give an example, a lot of times people think they got options. You don't. People, when it comes to likes, comments, and physical attraction, you do, but deep down you don't. Another thing, right? People feel like they're robots. They're not human. So if I'm talking to a woman and I say, "Hey, do you have trust issues and insecurities?" No, I don't have trust issues and insecurities. Like, I'm not here to bash you. I'm here to let me know that way I know how to love you and date you. Because it's okay to have these issues. We're humans. We're not robots. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes, like I made a stat where that went viral. I'm like, I'm 5'8". I don't know how to dress. And people are like, you said that? I'm like, yeah. Like people do have a height and then there are people that don't know how to dress. So it's like what made that video go viral was that it was somebody being their authentic self and not bashing their self, but they were telling their flaws. You get what I'm saying?
Mm,
It's like social media, you might say, okay, man, I got an eating disorder. I'm cheap, this and that. People are like, oh my God. But what's so oh my God? They said something that million people around the world are dealing with, but the thing is when it comes to being honest, people have a thing, and it's like, oh, but I always make my social media to not be a highlight reel. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I always tell people my social media is not a highlight reel, but when you say things, you're like, oh, this is, I said this. This isn't normal, like, or you get to dating somebody, and people be like, well, I'm not going to text them first because I don't want to look too thirsty, or I'm not going to tell them
Mm.
that I'm like, you're a human. You have feelings. You have emotions. These are, this is okay. You get what I'm saying? So I just a lot of time where people just don't want to be themselves, man. It's a scary world that we live in.
I get what you mean, and it's like you're saying, like even for example, like something as like simple as like people will tell you, well, don't text back right away or make them wait. It's like if this is someone you care about and you want to like spend your life with, why would you do that?
Like, yeah, like, so you're trying to tell me that I like you. And I made a post about like, so I like you. I want to get to know you. I'm dating you with intentions, but I gotta like look at my phone and say, I'm not gonna text her back right away. What are we doing? Like, we got it wrong. Like, it's scary, man. It's scary, Anthony. I'm telling you, man, it's scary out here, man. But that's why I use my platform and I tell people I love being my authentic self. You're gonna get joking. You might get me doing a rant. I just did a rant. You might get me doing a rant. You might get me talking about. You never know what you're gonna get with me. But my biggest thing is that I'm always respectful. I never disrespect anybody's religion, sexuality, politic views, or whatever, because there's something that I just don't talk about. But I also feel like that you can get on there, you're gonna get the same with me. I'm gonna be 100% myself, transparent, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, no, I think that's amazing because it's kind of like you're doing the opposite of what most people are seeing, and that's why you're saying like with the videos that you posted, people were so surprised that you said the things you did. But
Hmm.
I think it's what's needed. Like it's kind of like what you're saying. The fact that this advice is being purported to people about like the whole texting or don't do this or don't do that, and like basically sell the person a fake version of you. It's
Yeah.
like, where are you going with this? Because once you are your authentic self with that person, because you will be as you open up, then they're like liking someone or they're with someone that they didn't even start dating.
And they're going to see it anyway. Either way it goes, they're going to see right. They're going to see right through it eventually anyway.
Yeah, like that front that you're putting on is only gonna last so long, right?
100%, man.
Mm-hmm. So how I wanted to go back to it, but how has like faith kind of like shaped you into the person you are today and kind of like helped you come over like struggles in your life?
If I say how, I think proof. If I'm being completely honest with you, proof, because I tell people this, right? I believe in God. I talk to God. I have a relationship with God. I don't think it takes religion to know right from wrong. People are like, well, you wear crosses. Yeah, my crosses, these are a little bit more deeper because these kind of connect me and my grandmother who passed. And my thing is with faith is like, if you've ever done something and you've given your faith, you worked hard, then all you got is proof. Like I've never seen it, me honestly, not work. If I'm being honest with you, Anthony, like far as me now, it may not work tomorrow,
Mm.
not work next week, but as long as I've been living my life, me working a job, it's paid off like a good job. Me praying on things and actually giving good effort. I've never seen it not work. I'll give you an example. I had an exam, Anthony. I promise, a true story. Couldn't I always ask God, why can't I pass it? When I was back at home in Indiana, took it 7 times, couldn't pass it. I was BSing. Got out here, took it the first time. Guess what?
Passed.
I've never seen it not work. I was at back home in Indiana trying to do my merch. I thought about it, whatever. Got scared, right like the week before, the week before I got out here, it put it up, nothing. Got out here, started promoting it on social media. Guess what? Some shirts sold out. It's never not worked when you go with effort. It's always doing its part. The universe, God, they are always doing their part. Are you doing your part? And sometimes you gotta look in the mirror and say, you know what? I've been BSing. I've been like BSing. My body weight, I've never been this lean with this like much muscle mass. You know why? Because I'm focused. It has to work. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing. It just doesn't. It's never not stirred me wrong. So when I say my proof and what made me do it, it's always came. He's always came through, and the universe always came through for me. Always.
I see it. It's like a lot of the times we could point our fingers at God, the universe, whatever you want to call it for yourself. And it's like a lot of the times it's just you not putting in the effort. And then the second you put in the effort, you realize, like, damn, I was holding back the whole time, you know?
Whole time. Whole time. You know,
It's crazy.
it's never not work, and it's never. You know, and people say when you start a business, do family should support and friends should support. I don't believe that because let's say Anthony, you my brother, and I got some stuff. You have the right to say, Christian, oh, I'm your brother. I've been seeing you. I mean, you ain't really did nothing to prove to me that I should give you $100 for your business. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of time, it's accountability. If I'm your brother and I'm telling Anthony, buy my shirt, well, you don't have a website for it. I mean, I ain't seen you talk about it on social media. You know, you only got one size. I just seen you take $1,000 and go on a girl, blow it on a girl who you barely knew, and go to the. So it's like, why should you invest? You know what I mean? It's like sometimes we just gotta look in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm the problem, and I got to get my stuff together. That's just the reality of it.
I've never looked at it like that, but it's so true. Maybe the people closest to you, and maybe someone listening right now that's trying to do something, is maybe the people closest to you don't have that faith in you because you haven't given them a reason to have that faith, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like, you know, it's like right now, if I was sitting over here and I didn't look like I worked out, why would I want my family member to hire me as a personal trainer? I would be okay with them going to get Anthony. Anthony looks better than me. Why would I be okay with that? You know what I mean? Why would
Yeah.
I tell them they see that I'm not on time? I can run my cleaning business, but I'm never on time just in general. Why would they book me? They don't owe that to you. They don't owe it to you. But sometimes we got to get out of our look in the mirror and just say, hey, I got to do better. And there's nothing wrong with looking in the mirror and say, I got to do better and I want better.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a great way to look at it. Would you say that like you've gained more accountability for yourself, or have you always been someone that's been accountable of their actions?
Oh no, I gained so much more accountability for myself, so much, you know, in this a lot more. You know, if someone does something, I look myself in the mirror and say, listen, learn, shouldn't have did it. Keep it pushing. You know what I mean? So I take a lot down, man, accountability. I think it plays a big part. And you keep yourself out of situations when you hold yourself to accountable to a certain stance now too.
Yeah, because like the way I like to look at it too, bro, is that when you hold yourself accountable for most things, then you have an area where you can improve or change. But if you just blame other people, you can't control what other people do, you
No,
know?
you can only control how you react to it.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I think that's very important to have that mindset shift. My next question is, bro, you speak a lot about gratitude and being like grateful for the situation you're in and what you got going on. How would someone start to practice more gratitude in their life?
Look around you. You know, look when you go out in the world, you look around you, and it'll show you, you know, that your life could be a lot worse. It could be better, but it could be a lot worse. Whether you know whether you're looking at a homeless person, you know, or whether you wake up in the morning and you Google how many people a day die, which I think is 8,403 people. Don't ask me how I know that. You know what I mean? No, you keep yourself grounded by that because, and that's how you work on your energy too, on not wanting to be a certain way. But you know, you show gratitude for everything because whether you got a roof over your head, there's somebody who's getting evicted. You know, there's somebody that's in hospice. There's somebody kid who didn't wake up. You know, there's somebody's father, son, mom, auntie who didn't wake up this morning. There's somebody that was on their way to work that was in a car accident. There was somebody right now that think they're gonna be here next week and they won't. You know, you gotta think, and it sucks, but it will show you a lot to keep yourself grounded. And things could be a lot worse. And a lot of times, the situation that you're in, people are wishing they were in your area. I would never complain about my problem. There is somebody right now that wish they had my problems. You know, my sister called me 2 weeks ago about her battery. Oh my God, I'm having a bad day. Said your battery. I mean, that's a bad day. People ain't got a car. Some people didn't wake up. But I said, that's how. Yes, a bad day to you. I'll take that. I'll take that bad day. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just sometimes, and it sucks, but sometimes you just got to look around and you keep yourself grounded. Even with my energy and my attitude, I'll go to a grocery store and I'll see the way that a clerk or somebody is just nasty and rude, and I'll check myself, Christian. Don't be that way. Don't, check yourself. Don't you ever be that way. And I don't care how bad of a day you're having, you don't ever put that on anybody else. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I think it's so important to have that perspective, right? Like, especially if you keep it in mind in those situations where you feel like, you know, I guess not being the way you should, is just holding that
Hmm.
perspective of being grateful.
Sorry, I'm eating Anthony's at the same time.
Nah, that's okay, man. No worries.
All right. But I think it's simple, bro. I think sometimes we just make life more difficult than what it got to be. You know what I mean? And it's easy with social media when you get caught up in certain things and putting yourself in certain boxes and living your life through other people's lenses.
Exactly, yeah. I only have two more questions for you, bro. And
No problem.
for the second last one, it is, what is like one piece of wisdom that you want to kind of leave with the audience before we kind of close out here?
Well, I got a lot of those, Anthony.
Maybe something that's been on your mind recently.
I would say this: when dealing with people and dealing with humans, you can only meet people as far as they met themselves. And remember that. That'll keep you out of a lot of arguments. It'll keep you out of a lot of conversations. It'll keep you out of a lot of places. I can't sit here and argue about, you being accountable if you're not going to hold yourself accountable. You get what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
can't make you understand the way that I think, but my biggest thing is you can only meet people as far as they met themselves. And just be a good person. Be a good person. Because one thing about good people don't lose good people. No, if you're a good person deep down and you know that you're moving with good intention, which is really hard for the world to do, and you can go on social media, you can see that. Be a good person, move with good intention, and you remember you can only meet people as far as they met themselves.
Yeah, I think that's super important because once again, if you kind of put out those good intentions out, you'll meet people that have bad intentions, but they'll just fall off from your life. But the people that do have good intentions will stay with you like for long, right?
100%.
So for my last question, I ask every single guest this question, and that is, Christian, how do you want to be remembered?
By helping people. A lot of times I think people are praying for things for them, but what are you doing or what are you praying for that can help other people? And that plays a big part of, the charity thing that I'm doing. You know what I mean? I can be remembered for a lot of things, but I want people to be able to say, he helped me. You know what I mean? I think sometimes you get caught up in this life trying to figure out how much you can get out of life. What have you given? And that doesn't have to be with finance. That could be a simple thing. If somebody going up the steps and you helping them with their groceries, simple as somebody in the gym. Hey, bro, I see your gains. You don't even know what that did for that person. Or you might see that parent out there that's struggling. Hey, I know the world is tough, but hey, you're being a good mom and you're being a good dad. You know what I mean? You don't know how far those little things can go because you don't know what people are dealing with. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So that and when I tell people you can be a blessing to anybody, whether you're in their presence for 3 seconds, 3 minutes, 3 months, 3 years. You get what I'm saying? You
yeah,
don't know what you can say or what you gesture you can do to help somebody. Even if you talk about finance, you could be that person in the store. And I tell all my guys is I said, if y'all at the grocery store, y'all getting some food, pay it forward. Pay for somebody's food up front. You don't know that person that you could help, and that might have been their last $20 till Friday.
yeah,
You know what I mean? One advice that I do want to give people, and I know I'm rambling, but I do want to give this advice. With the holidays coming up, instead of people giving people what they want them to have, ask them what they need. Hey, do you need me to help you pay your gas bill? Do you need me to help you go half on your rent? Do you need a babysitter for the weekend? What do you need? Not what you want. What do you need? And I had experience like this 2 years ago with a family member, and they were just having a moment. And I've put this in my life. So people around me, I no longer give them what they want. I talk to them one on one and say, hey, what do you need? Are you
mm,
struggling? Do you need a break from the kids? Do you need help with a light bill? Do you need help with groceries? What do you need? And I feel like that goes a long way.
yeah. I really like that. I don't think I've ever heard that before. That's
Yeah,
such
man.
a that's such a different way of going about it, and I think that like goes a long way. And even what you were saying before, just the simple things like helping someone while you're out or whatever the case may be, that does leave like affecting change, right? Mm-hmm. For sure. So, bro, is there anything you want to shout out before I close out the podcast?
A shout out to you, obviously.
Thank you,
Definitely
bro.
shout out and appreciate you for having me. I do want to shout out to Pray Hill Train, which is the brand that we do. We have merch at prayhilltrain.com. We have our shirt, we have our black shirts, our white shirts. We actually have our wristbands that we do have, and we're actually right now taking donations for the Build of Hope, Bridge of Hope, and that gives back to mothers in need and kids in need. And you can go to www.prayhilltrain.com to donate if you want to help those people.
Amazing, bro. So if you could stay just for a couple minutes after the podcast, I want to ask you some questions. But to everyone watching, this has been the Insightful Podcast. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Spotify, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Crush a cold to a diamond, eyes forever shining. Your beauty alone inspire a nigga to rhyming.